best at their own 36-yard line. Is the best starting field position they've had all night. Shotgun formation. There's one running back. Oh, high snap again. They got to clean that up as the quarterback is running for his life. Finally, the running back does pick it up. That's number. Actually, we don't have a license on the truck. Number 6 does pick it up and saves the day. But they have lost. They have lost a lot. Let's just see how far back. 10, 20, that's about 2nd and 25 is what I'm exactly 2nd and 25. So the line of game's at the 46, the ball's at the 21.
Wow. You and I talked about this a few years ago. Too many teams don't have spread personnel and they try to run a spread offense. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a otherworldly type quarterback, a good offensive line in the center that can snap the ball consistently, you cannot run a spread offense. They don't have the personnel to do this.
Absolutely not. It's a faux shotgun, like a pistol. It's more like a pistol, I guess. And they're trying to run it, and they don't, like you said, they don't have it. They run, they get beaten up. Literally, you see them getting beaten up at the line. They'll move back 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 27 now.
And not only that, but when you're facing a team like this, as a coach, ordinarily in some instances, you would try stuff you wouldn't ordinarily do against an opponent you're evenly matched with. Mm-hmm. So you might come out and you might try to go, I don't know, gap 8, 7 diamond. Just put as many people up against the line of scrimmage as you could to generate some pressure. So, I mean, mentorship is in a tough spot at this point.
I'm in middle age, and sometimes my short-term memory starts to go bad as we go through these districts every week. This is a district game for Port Allen. Helix Mentorship is a District 6-3 is a 6-3A school, and that's where I was trying to go earlier tonight. Is they chucked the ball down the field, intercepted it right into the breadbasket of that. I believe that was number 0, Michael Hartley, and he lost the ball, still on his feet, but looks like Port Allen holds on, and it will be 1st and goal at the 5-yard line after Hartley's interception.
Like I said when we started the broadcast, I know a lot of 1A teams that would easily beat mentorship. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, like I said, just looking on the sideline. In terms of numbers, the middle school team I'm coaching has more players. And in terms of actual size, I have players that are bigger than some of the players that they actually have on the field playing at this point.
And that's really where mentorship kind of gets caught in that crosshair between actual school population and viable athletes. They have a 3A population that's probably, I'm going to guess, somewhere just south of 1,000 students. But they have, on the other hand, we have a false start on Port Allen. Well, we saw that pile up a little bit last week, so they're going to move back a few yards. But they have, I'm going to guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of just, let's say 900 students for the sake of discussion, right? And they probably draw those students because they have a good STEAM program, a good science, technology. Ooh, I'm so glad I did not try to sit down. Science, technology, engineering, and math program. But they draw those students, so it pushes up their population. So that athletically they're classified in 3A, but it's not really a school that draws athletes per se, which puts them at a huge disadvantage. And they have district games against Port Allen as Brennan Gibson takes it around the right side. He's to the 10. He's finally tackled for the first time tonight at the 3-yard line.
And another thing too, I've coached at schools where it's middle school and high school kids on the same campus, and they add those middle school kids towards what classification you want to be in on a high school level. So instead of a team being a 1A or 2A school, they're actually playing in 3A. And most of the time, the athletic director or someone higher up, somebody on administrative level wants to make that decision. But from a coaching standpoint, you don't want that to happen because you're playing up when in all actuality you want to play down.
Exactly. That's a tough break as we have another handoff and into the end zone. I'm trying to see who the ball carrier was on there. Let's see, Mr. David. Do we have a who scored that touchdown? That was no surprise there. I could have just guessed, and I've probably been right. But Brennan Gibson again in the end zone. That is his, I think it's his 3rd touchdown tonight. And Port Allen extends their lead now 21-0. Bodan, snap, placement, kick. It's good. So that was a little bit nicer than before.
A lot of penetration. I see why they don't kick too many extra points.
Yeah, no, and you could tell it was still was not, it was kind of ugly. You can tell he has the leg, but you got to get the snap and the placement down. If you don't have that,
you have to block up front. And don't get me wrong, somebody's gonna come free off the edge.
Yes.
But that wingman has to pick up. He can't let just people just come through untouched, and that's problematic if they actually need 1 point to maybe win a game. So I mean, these are things you might want to consider.
So that leaves the score at the with 6:46 remaining in the opening period. Port Allen 22, Mentorship 0, and Port Allen is set to kick the ball. Excuse me. Bowdoin is set to kick the ball off. I stumbled on that one a little bit. So here comes. So Jacoby Jarrell is going to try to field this one and hopefully have a hold on to the ball, maybe get a positive result. You know, put two hands around that ball, hold it like a newborn baby, and not turn over. Bowdoin kicks it off, and it's going to bounce, and it's going to be taken by that third row rather.
Oh, they're like a face mask on that.
Yeah, I saw some hands up here.
But it wasn't called, so maybe, I don't know, maybe he grabbed him around the top of the jersey or something. Or maybe they just missed it, who knows.
So let's see, Coach, it looks like they have it up. Actually, they're going to have the best field position again tonight. I see the side judge is at the sticks rather, at the 40. Let's see, is it up to the 40? At the 39-yard line.
But at this point, if you're the Sharks, you want to get some positive plays.
Right.
Just try to get your first down of the game.
Yeah, exactly. A first down will go a long way.
But like I say, I think it would be more beneficial if they were under center as opposed to in a pistol or a shotgun formation, because in a pistol, you have to have a center, just like in a shotgun. You have to have a center that can actually snap the ball consistently to the quarterback.
So here we are, pistol formation. There is one receiver left, one receiver right, and two tight ends. One tight end. And there's the handoff. No, it was two tight ends. I stand corrected. And goes nowhere, goes backwards. That was I believe it was number 10, Christopher McKinley. And he's going to lose about 5 on the play.
Well, I mean, whether you're under center or you are in the pistol or shotgun, center quarterback exchange is very key and important on this level. But it's going to be imperative. I mean, honestly, for what they just did, they might have been better off if they just would have lined up under center.
Yeah. So I got to stand corrected. I mentioned that Helix was a newer program. I think they're newer to district because I was actually able to get some scores all the way back to 2014. So they have had a program, but I believe the district play is only in the last few years. I'm going to confirm that for the audience. And look, I will tell you this much. I went to a high school that during the years I was not competing district play, and we win 4, 5, 6 games a year out of 10. Not bad. We have a few rah-rahs, but we weren't facing real competition. The year after I graduated, we did go to district. I think we only won 1 or 2 games, but a few years later, we got into the playoffs for the first time ever. So I do think that there is something for taking these lumps and participating in district play. It's just going to take time.
Well, I think everybody has their own perspective. I know me personally, when we were in high school, like my senior year, the schedule was brutal. Like we played against, even though they had been a power, they were down that year. We played against Donaldsonville, played against St. James, Lutcher, Elite.
Nobody to play. People not to play with.
I mean, literally, I think had we not won it, we won a district championship my senior year, but had we not, I think we'd have had so many power points. We still would have been a playoff team anyway. So the point I'm trying to make, I mean, playing all those tough games, it really didn't benefit us in the playoffs. I think it depends on your philosophy as a player and as a coach.
And I'm right, you are, Coach. I could not agree with you more. So here we are there in pistol again. Second down, about 15 yards to go for the Sharks. And steps up. They have a new quarterback. He's got somebody on him. He throws. I think his knee might have been on the ground as he released. Pass is incomplete. Daryl Marsalis is the quarterback. We have some dirty lawn. They're waving it off, and that will bring up third down. So it'll be third down and very, very long. Third down and about 18 yards to go for the Mentorship Academy Sharks. And so they're getting into the huddle. We have 5:51 remaining. Clock has stopped on the incomplete pass. And, Coach, that's one reason they may have to bring that running clock into play because if Mentorship, one, they're going to trail, so they're going to have to pass, but they don't have a very well-established passing game, and it's going to stop the clock. So that could be just a matter of time, Coach, before that running clock that you mentioned does come into play.
They haven't even converted a first down yet. So in a game like this, you might be good off if you just run the ball up the middle 3 times. I hate to sound so pessimistic, but let's be realistic. This is like,
you go for the cloud of dust and maybe something breaks.
Yeah, this is not an even playing field in terms of competition. And that was the point I was trying to make. It's not a evenly matched game to be true.
Yeah, it's tough when you to say that it's that it is a district. It's a district game. Now I will say this much: Mentorship last year, they did not have a single win last year. They only scored in 3 games. This year they already do have a win. They got that over Northeast earlier. They came off of a loss to Capital just last week, and that was it was not that lopsided actually. The final score in that game, as I'll pull that up for the audience in a moment, final score in that game was 26-36, so it was within 10 points. So it seems like when they're going against the smaller schools, when they're going against the schools that might have 30 varsity players, they might have more of a pulse. And like I said, they got to win, which is something they didn't get at all last year. So there's something, but we're not going to see that thing here tonight. What we're going to see is these Pelicans making shark meat out of them.
Well, I mean, to be truthful, I think they'll fare better against teams like Capital High because I have players that played for me when they were in middle school, and they're freshmen, and they're literally starting already at Capital High. So a game against Capital High is like a competitive, even in that game.
Right.
This game against Port Allen is not that.
So the Sharks, they drop back. There was a sack. I don't see the dial-it-down flipping to 4th, but I did not see a penalty. So,
I did see a flag.
Okay, I missed it, Coach.
I didn't see any signal. It's difficult to make what is happening. The officials didn't make any rulings on the field in terms of what transpired, no signal or anything.
Okay, so here we go. They are set to punt. They have flipped it. It is 4th down. About 23, 24 yards to go, 22 yards to go for the first down. And they're going to be set to kick it away. Punter calls for the ball. Man, that's tough. I mean, he's calling.
You cannot be a gunner and jump offside. He's literally standing right by the referee.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to fool anybody. The punter is number 4, Frank Pullins. Big kid. He could be the fullback just as well. So looking at the history, it looks like Mentorship is about in their 6th year of district play. And so they, that's kind of that point where you're expected to kind of win a few games. This is what I expect, Coach. And I kind of, the kick was partially blocked, but there's a whistle.
I think it was an encroachment.
Yep.
Fault.
That's a much better punt. That's about a 50.
At the they can get away with it. They got away with it last week.
Right.
They can get away with it this week, but further down the line, they're not going to be able to get away with this.
Precisely.
This lack of discipline.
Boda lets one rip incomplete towards the sideline, brings up 2nd down and 10. I think they're going to show some more. I think they're going to experiment with more of their passing plays tonight, Coach. I think that's one thing we can expect to see.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, they made some plays. They made some plays in the passing game last week, but they were much more proficient at running the ball. This week they could kind of experiment maybe a quarterback who might not be as proficient at throwing. Maybe you could give him a couple passes this week.
That was the other school, Collegiate High, the Dolphins. They should have a chance to win that one. They should be competitive against Glen Oaks. I don't know if they'll necessarily win.
But like a touchdown on this play.
It's a going Pecan, 25-20, 15-10-5 touchdown. Guess who that is? Brennan Gibson, number 4, 50-yard gallop, and Port Allen extends their lead 28-0. My goodness, oh, the humanity, Coach.
Man, hey, this.
But yeah, I mentioned Baker's 2A, so those are the chances. Glen Oaks and Collegiate, that's the shot.
Well, honestly, I think they had a legitimate chance at beating Capital High School. Like I said, I know players that were in 8th grade last year that are literally starting at Capital High this year. And I'm going to be honest, they probably wouldn't have had an opportunity to play this early in their high school career anywhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, when you're an athlete, you want to, no matter how, especially when you want to play. Doesn't matter how good or bad you are, but you want to get on the field. And I will tell you, I've been in environments where my planes. I'll get on a bus for a couple hours and get on the field for 1 or 2 plays. I've been with one where there were 13 guys that came and I'm on the field the whole time playing positions I never did. I'd much rather do the latter.
Yeah, I'd rather play and not get off the field. Me too. I've been on both ends of that spectrum, so I can relate.
Snap placement, kick by Bowden. It looks like Bowden. It looks like he's got it. It's up and good. But once again, if they're going to attempt extra points, it needs to be against opponents that don't have any kind of speed or size. Because the U-High would have blown that up, for example.
Oh, without question. I mean, the blocking on those extra points are extremely questionable at best.
They better keep their gate swinging. Maybe get some Rust-Oleum, not Rust-Oleum, some WD-40 and keep that gate nice and lubricated.
The thing about the swinging gate is you have multiple options out of it. And if teams don't know how to match up to it, then you can exploit that. However, if teams know how to match up to it across the board, it's going to be a problem.
So it is Port Allen 29, Mentorship 0, 4:29 to go in the first quarter. It is an absolutely beautiful night for a homecoming. There's not a cloud in the sky. There will not be any rain. It's 75 degrees, about a 5-mile-an-hour wind. It doesn't get much better than this, Coach.
No humidity at all.
None. And here, that's not something we say very often, And did we get did Chris? Does Chris have? Okay. And I'm remiss. I got a shame on me. I'm being a bad host as I have neglected our audience in the simulcast at 96.9 FM WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio. I forgot to get the signal that we were joined in, so we'd like to welcome our audience at WHYR. If you've been listening for a little while, you can tell it's the Port Allen Pelicans homecoming game. Port Allen is like a home for Louisiana All-American sports, and the home team is winning big time. As they're up 29-0 at their homecoming game on the Mentorship Academy Sharks. We'd like to remind you that if you do get out of your car or not near a good signal, we are streaming worldwide at LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. Again, LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. If you're listening at LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com and you hop in your car, tune it in to 96.9 FM WHYR and catch the game. So, it's 4:15 to go, and hey, we've seen this story before, as it was actually a touchback on that last one, and Mentorship will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Let's see if they can convert a first down.
That should have been a penalty. They let it go, and now they did not. I thought they were taking it easy on them.
Well, I think had the Pelicans defensive players not pointed out that the fullback, he jumped, then he tried to play it off like he went in motion. And he shifted from like a running back position to like a wing back position. But his movement was awkward, so it was obvious that it was a false start on that play.
So that is going to set the Sharks back a little bit. We have actually he's calling illegal shift was the call. And that's right. Your running back stepped up.
Yeah, you can't go in forward motion
So
in Louisiana high school football. So essentially, whether it was an illegal shift or a false start, it's practically the same thing in this context.
So they're going to walk it. They should be walking it back 5 yards.
Mentorship takes over first and 10 at the old 20-yard line.
So again, you are listening to the Louisiana All-American Sports Friday Night Football Game of the Week. Louisiana All-American Sports and WHYR Friday Night Football Game of the Week. Streaming live on LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com and over the airwaves at 96.9 FM. Here we go. Shotgun formation, or pistol formation rather. There's a handoff and trying to sweep around the right side, cuts the other way, breaks a tackle, still on his feet. That's about the best play we've seen tonight, of the night for Mentorship by number 6. Got to get that kid's name. That's Christian McManus, who worked off the bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, initially he was stopped for a loss, but I don't know what happened. Maybe the Pelicans defensive players let him go, and he just came out of the pack. It's going to be interesting to see on this series, can they actually get a first down?
So this is the best second down of the night. The side judge is standing at the 26, about 25.5-yard line, near the 26. The line to gains at the 30. This is their best chance to get something. Like you said, Coach, moving those sticks is the first step for a team like this.
Might have a face mask on the Pelicans.
Boy, they are killing themselves with these penalties. So Mentorship does get a first down. It wasn't gained from scrimmage, but hey, moving the sticks is moving the sticks.
Yeah.
And that's moves at 15 yards. And hey, I'll tell you, if I'm the Mentorship coach, I'll get them aside. Hey, they want to walk us in with the penalties. We'll take it. It's like in baseball. You want to walk all the runs in. I'm not going to give them back. You're going to get me down the field with penalties. Silly penalties. Go right ahead. They got to clean that up. This Port Allen team's got some athletic talent, but you will shoot yourself in the foot week after week doing that.
Yeah, without question.
So up to the line of scrimmage are the the Sharks. Shotgun formation. There's a draw play, and it looks like McManus. He goes to the left, sees nothing, goes to the right, has a little open room, has 4 yards.
He got about 5 yards on that play.
So they're going to mark him down. Looks like he might have stepped out at the 44. So they'll, it was a healthy 3-yard gain. So it brings up 2nd and 7. Ball is at the 44 of Mentorship, and the line to gain is at the 49 of Port Allen with 3:16 remaining in the first quarter.
Wow, they actually have back-to-back positive plays. I mean, hey, it's something to be. It gives you some momentum, or at least something to look forward to.
And we'd like to remind everyone that we're streaming worldwide at LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. .com, yes, sir.
Also on LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com.
All right, pistol formation, and there's the handoff, and the positive gain. Looks like they might have lost a yard there, Coach.
Wow.
So it's going to be 3rd down. I didn't see the dial-it-down move, so it looks like they're going to have mercy on them and put the ball right back at the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 7 because I think he lost.
I'm going to be honest with you. They moved it up 5 yards. I don't think it would make a difference.
So, looks like he lost. It looks like he lost at least in real time a yard. They only marked it back maybe a half a yard. But hey, I mean, give him a break. 2:45 and counting remaining in the opening period. 3rd down. Mentorship did get his first down of the night. They're in a shotgun formation. The quarterback for Mentorship is number 8, Jeremy Collins. Trying to get a license get that license plate on the running back, but he's turned directly to the side. High snap. He can't hold on. He's flushed out to his left-hand side. He loses the ball. It's a strip sack. Jalen Duhan. He's to the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown to 31-yard scoop and score. And Port Allen has gotten to that 30 threshold. And actually, I see the clock running still. I was like, it's a little early for that. But because that clock was still moving if they got in the end zone.
We're not too far away from it.
No, we're not. So Port Allen extends their lead 35-0 on the Helix Mentorship Steam Academy Sharks. As you hear the fireworks go off, and we can see that was a nice athletic play. He picked that up right on the fly. He got that ball out, saw the quarterback under duress, and popped it out. So Hunter Bodan on to attempt the extra point. Brennan Gibson will hold. And
hey, we said This game could be over by halftime. Scratch that, Mr. Hatfield.
Yeah.
The end of the first quarter, this game is almost practically over at this point.
And we'll call this one time of death, 2:09 in the first quarter. Snap placement. Kick is high. Did he make it? He did. It's good. 36-0 is the score. Yeah, I'm going to call it early. I'm not going to start singing Turn Out the Lights in the first quarter, but
You can definitely you can start singing now.
as that kick is good. 36-0 in favor of Port Allen. They're having a very happy homecoming tonight in this District 6-3A matchup.
And the issue for the Sharks, is the fact that you can't move the chains. I mean, they haven't even, like, from scrimmage, they haven't actually converted the first down yet. And, you know, you can't run time off the clock if you can't convert first down.
Right, exactly.
You can't keep the chains moving. You know, it's different.
You're going to share a little intel with our public address gentleman.
Port Allen Pelicans are getting ready to kick off. There's exactly 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and the score is 36-0 in favor of the Pelicans.
So end over and kick, nice kick. Well, Bordan's got a good leg, and as a former kicker, I appreciate that. The ball is bobbling around, scooped up at the 13, and they're going to lose. He looks like he lost a yard. He's lucky he didn't lose more than that, as the return man, Jacoby Jarrell, didn't know it hit him, and another flag.
Oh, my goodness.
This is starting to look like last night's game between the Giants and Cowboys.
Yeah, this is silly. I mean, as a coach, it drives me crazy when my team has a lack of discipline. So from a coaching standpoint, I'm going to be truthful. You want to deter that type of behavior as much as possible.
This has got to be absolutely maddening to Coach Gibson. I mean, you can look at this team. They have athletes. Are they going to have some trouble against U High? Yes. Is Madison Prep and Parkview Baptist going to be tough? Yes. But they've got athletes. But you cannot compete when you're dealing with that. Take over for just one moment, please, Coach.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing about it. They have a ridiculous amount of penalties. I don't know. The referees are still discussing what transpired. It seems as if the Mentor Sharks are at about the 10-yard line. However, if it's another unsportsmanlike penalty on the Pelicans, they should move up to about the 25-yard line. And that's what it looks like. They're walking it off against the Pelicans. In fact, the ball is going to be spotted at the 33-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Mentorship Academy Sharks at the 33-yard line. And it's going to be interesting to see from a coaching standpoint, what are the Sharks coaching staff, what are they going to do? Because they're struggling in both the running game and passing game. They haven't converted a first down from scrimmage the entire night. So it's going to be interesting to see what are they going to do.
Coach, I think Mentorship might have about a good 50 or 60 yards just in penalties.
But they still haven't been able to convert a first down, though.
They're trying to get that
aside from the penalties.
Right. Oh boy, I'll tell you what. Number 6 that's the second or third time tonight I have watched number 6, the running back Christian McManus for Mentorship, just run into a gauntlet, take a beating, boom, bounce and try to turn back, boom. The problem is he has no offensive line, but he's stayed on his feet after getting hit pretty good too.
Yeah, and I see why the Pelicans are getting so many unsportsmanlike penalties. Is a lot of talking and pushing after the play. So, you have to show some discipline as a team.
So we have 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Mentorship is 2nd and 7. They picked up 3. They are still trying to get to Coach Harrison's point, that first down from scrimmage. This is Eric Hatfield on play-by-play, joined by Coach Jimmy Harrison on color commentary. Back to throw. Bigger quarterback in there. Nice, decent pass call. Complete. They got it, Coach. The first down up near the 49-yard line. Now they might be able to get in enemy territory. But the quarterback, Darryl Marsalis, you could see the size difference right away. Yeah. More thickness, and the pass was complete to number 10, Christopher McKinley, and they got it. They moved the chains, first down.
So, and I mean, Now the next thing you want to do is you want to get the ball on the plus side of the field.
Precisely.
You're only a few yards away from that, so you can achieve that goal right now. And I'm gonna be truthful. As a player, I remember my freshman year in high school. Our freshman team, the last game of the season, we played against the team's junior varsity or varsity team, and the furthest we got the ball was to the 49 literally all night.
Coach, that's 2 straight plays where they have gotten a first down from scrimmage. That's number 15. That's Marcellus gets a nice pass complete to number. I don't have Jacoby Jarrell on the side. It was a well-thrown pass. Why hasn't this kid been in the game the whole time? It's kind of.
I'm gonna be honest. Either the Pelicans have let their guard down, or they already started to substitute some of their players, because earlier these same plays were going for negative yards.
So I'm looking at, what they had to do, but you know what, though? There was a different player at quarterback. There was that more slender quarterback as rolling out another pass, and it's caught complete to number 10, Christopher McKinley, another completion from Marcellus to McKinley. But, yes, when quarterback Jeremy Collins was in there, he was having trouble handling the snaps as we come to the end of the first quarter.
Well, it wasn't the fact that he was having trouble handling the snaps. The center was snapping the ball
going over his head. Yeah.
So it really wasn't his fault.
True.
And just kind of to be truthful, you don't go from not getting the first down at all in the first quarter to the end of the first quarter. Now you're on the plus side of the field. So it lets me know either defensively that the Pelicans have let their guard down, or from a coaching staff standpoint, they already started substituting some of the backup players.
What I did notice, Coach, is they went into a vanilla-based defense on this drive. I mean, 4-man front, 3 linebackers. Linebackers don't blitz. I mean, like if you had a board, like a board game like back in the 70s called football, you'd have your standard formation lining up. So it might be that they just kind of stop showing their hand as far as the trick plays. I still see quite a few starters out there at the moment. As to your point, though, we might see some of the other players start to flow in. Because I saw Cedric Collins, I saw Michael Hartley, I saw some familiar numbers, but I see Levon Little, number 3. I believe he's a starter. But we're going to probably see those thin out as we get closer to halftime.
Yeah, without question. And I mean, and kind of to your point, defensively, they look a little bit more vanilla, but more than anything, they're not blitzing as much.
Right.
Because at one point, defensively, it seemed as if they went like 7 diamond, a gap 8. And what I mean by that is, for the exception of, the defensive backs in coverage and maybe your single high safety, they just put everybody up to the line of scrimmage.
Yep. And there was no blitzing. I was watching. There was no blitzing whatsoever on those last couple of plays. See, Josh, I still see some starters out there, Coach. They haven't called the dogs completely off yet.
It seems as if they kind of let their guard down a little bit.
I mean, you're 36.
You're 36 to nothing. It's easy to get complacent.
I mean, you're gonna make some business decisions when you're 36-0. Put it that way. You're gonna make some business decisions. Shotgun formation, 2nd down. Looks like about 7 yards to go. Ball is right at the 35-yard line of Port Allen. Dropping back. McManus goes down the field. He has a receiver intercepted. Well, he got a little gully, as they'd say back in the day. Got a little gully. He was feeling himself. It was a decent spiral down the field, but it was underthrown and intercepted. And that was Malachi Bennett with the pick. And so Port Allen will take over 1st and 10. I guess if there's any silver lining in the dark cloud for the Sharks is that they have Port Allen pinned inside their 10-yard line. They have not been that. That's Port Allen's worst starting field position all night.
And that pass deep down the field, essentially it turns out to be equivalent to a punt.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't lose too much on that. However, from a coaching staff standpoint, if you're the Sharks, you wanted to score on this drive.
Yes.
To kind of stop the bleeding a little bit.
And you had forward momentum. You want to get that round number off the board. So we have 11 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the second quarter. Port Allen is now moving from our right to our left. By the way, we'll color in some of the lines for you. Port Allen's in their traditional uniforms, blue jerseys, white numbers, very thin black trim, blue pants with white trim at the bottom near the leg, and white helmets with the Pels script logo. The Sharks have their white jerseys with green numbers. They have trim, but I can't make out the color, and green, kind of a Kelly green. Pants with white trim, and they took that right up the middle and busted one for about 12 yards right there up the middle, 1st down for Port Allen. That was Brennan Gibson again. So they haven't taken Gibson out yet. That's interesting because when the Gibson's out, that's the beginning of calling off the dogs.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna lie. he should not step foot on the field in the second half whatsoever.
They shouldn't have Bowdoin out there. They shouldn't have Gibson out there. And I think there are other skill players they should start to phase out a little bit. But those are your key players right there. You should not have those guys in the game for very long. I mean, I know it's a district game, and you know it's a with the district game and the way that some of the points work, the rankings and the points, you have a double-edged sword. You don't want to be unsportsmanlike, but these district games count a little bit more when they start slicing and dicing up the points and the rankings and the playoffs. You do kind of want to blow this team out as much as you can.
But there's a fine line between, hey, we want to score as many points as we could, and we're just being unsportsmanlike and running the score up.
Right.
Because like a few weeks ago, I heard of a team like scoring like 76 points on the opposition. And the crazy thing about it is they're a running team. They don't even pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So after a certain point, you want to literally empty and clear the bench. The state shouldn't reward you excessively running up the score on your opposition.
You know what? Exactly. Especially when you're talking about kids in Gibson. Oh, it's fun to watch this kid run, though he's at the 40. And there's a 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5 touchdown. That will be a 78-yard run, a 78-yard run, but there's a flag on the play. And so the the New York Giants, the Port Allen Pelicans have got another flag thrown out again. I think in the Giants and Cowboys games, they just threw another flag after last night. And it's against, so that 78-yard gallop is going to come back, as the penalty is against Port Allen.
And as a skilled player to do that much running,
Ooh,
you
I
are
know
upset
he's
with
not
whoever
thrilled.
got that particular penalty.
I'm looking at Coach Gibson. He's shaking his head in disbelief. I mean, when you have 78 yards come off the board like that, I don't blame you for being fuming, you know.
Yeah, he might want to find an oxygen tank for a minute to recoup.
So it's going to be from I'm assuming the spot of the foul, because I see the official walking it past the original line of scrimmage. Was it downfield? I'm confused. Okay, he's picking it up, so it must have been a penalty. The spot of the penalty must have been downfield, and now he's walking it back. So it is going to be first down and about 2, as he was downfield where the penalty flag was thrown. Holding's a 10-yard penalty. They moved it back.
So the spot of the foul.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Coach. And so it'll be first down and 2 yards to go. Yeah, they have got this. These athletes are just too good. I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse, but these athletes are too good to be shooting themselves in the foot like this. There's a handoff right through I believe it was through the A gap, and there's going to be a gang tackle of Sharks. There'll be a first down. Was that Gibson with the ball? No, that was number 8, Tyler Hill, and he runs for the first down.
Tyler Hill carries foul number 8, Jeremy Collins.
10:03 and counting.
Yeah, and truthfully speaking, if you're the Sharks, you want to do something. I mean, the talent gap is too large in the Pelicans' favor.
Well, Mr. David, the public address announcer, was, and all these folks are always wonderful when we come to visit. They'll try to help us out with giving us intel, and he just kind of drew on his notepad penalties and just arrows going up and up and up. And that is always, it feels like every second or third play, Coach, we're seeing it, and it's on the better team. There's some misdirection. Oh, bounces off, and Mentorship had a chance to get a turnover, and there was a lot of real estate in front of him. So credit the coverage. I don't have a license on number. It's Devery Lewis. Credit the coverage to Devery Lewis, number 2. Missed a chance to maybe put himself on the board, and it'll bring up second down and 10 for the Port Allen Pelicans. So second down. And Pelicans still have most of their starting personnel on the field for the time being.
Yeah, after this next touchdown, you could kind of start to phase some of those players out.
Yeah, you get up to 42, you'd like to think so. So Gibson's going to line up as quarterback. He's going to go play action and wrapped up and brought down.
Wow, I mean, the Sharks, that's one thing I can say about them.
They tackle well.
I mean, hey, they are showing some fight and some life.
It's a big number 75. Somebody strike that. Ronnie Hawkins, number 14, with the tackle, the linebacker. Yeah, they've wrapped up, and we saw that. They've wrapped up, and I've not seen Port Allen slip a lot of tackles. Like when Brennan Gibson has gone off, it's because they haven't touched him.
Yeah.
So 8 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Third down, about 12 yards to go for the Pelicans. Dropping back is Bodan. Bodan throws a nice little rifle, and it's caught complete but short of the line of gain to number 3, Levon Little. Oh, they said no. He dropped it. My mistake. So it'll be 4th and 12. Wow, this is something I didn't think I'd expect to say anytime soon. I think Hunter Bodan will be on the punt.
I mean,
hey man, stay on your score, boy.
Yep, he is. He's going to kick.
I mean, how many straight possessions have they scored, like, with the first 7 possessions of the game?
Let's see. So 5. So they got 5 with the scoop and score. So 4 possessions plus a defensive score.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that Port Allen's going to come off the field. You know, that penalty on that 78-yard touchdown run, it does kind of loom. It's because it's now instead of scoring every possession, you're forced to punt.
And from a coaching standpoint, this is a teachable moment.
It sure is, Coach.
You let your players know. You play against better opposition. You can't have these penalties and actually get away with it and be successful.
High snap, Bodan blasted. Oh, look at that spiral. So it's going to bounce and it's going to roll. Oh, why would you touch that? He scoops it up, and he's going to be brought down around the 40-yard line. So that was a punt. Oh, let's see, 10, 20, 22, about a 25-yard punt and about a 22-yard net. And it'll be first down for Mentorship. Beautiful spiral kick, but it was more of a rainbow. Only went about a total of 25 yards past the line of scrimmage.
I mean, honestly, you know, for an excellent school, that would be a bad punt.
Right.
However, for most high school teams, that was a pretty decent punt. In fact,
Good
I
time.
know high school teams that don't actually punt the ball. They go for it every 4 downs.
Oh, yeah.
Despite the down and distance, they still going for it.
And I'll tell you, I've seen many times, Coach, those same schools that don't really have a bona fide punter, they'll do that. They'll rugby roll out and just try to line drive kick it and hope for the best. Hope it rolls as far as possible. I mean, hideous, but that's the only way they can be effective. This guy, great hang time, and one thing's for sure, he didn't go very far after he fielded the punt. His players were there.
But, I mean, that was a dangerous field.
I know. I didn't get that. I guess they feel like they have nothing to lose, I guess. Shotgun. And there's a draw play, handoff. There's that man, number 6 again, sweeping around the left side, staying on his feet. And he is a determined runner, Christian McManus. He might have gotten 4. Let's see where they spot him.
And I'm not going to lie, he did a lot of running. He kicked 4 yards.
Yeah. There, I'm going to give him 3. So he ran about 30 yards total distance covered, but about 3 yards forward. So second down.
That's a lot of running for not a big game.
2nd and 7. He's getting his cardio in. He's getting his cardio in.
Oh, I know he's going to sleep well tonight.
Yes, sir, he will. So second down. And here they come up to the line of scrimmage. You're listening to 96.9 FM, WHYR, Baton Rouge Community Radio. Shotgun formation, dropping back. Fires. Oh, that was a dangerous pass, but it's caught. Another catch in tight space, and I believe is that number 10 again? That's number 10, Christopher McKinley. Another pass from Darryl Marsalis. So they have been completing that route a little bit. Brings up 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2 yards to go.
I mean, at this point, you just might as well pass the ball every play. I mean, forget being balanced. Just try to get as many yards as you could.
Yeah, your mission is to get that round number off the board at this point. That is your mission.
Yeah.
6:45 remaining in the first half. And up to the line of scrimmage come the Sharks. And they have trips to the left. Or actually, it's more like twins to the left and kind of a pro slot on the left. One receiver to the right. Shotgun formation. Dropping back is Marsalis. Marsalis fires to the side, caught, complete, no gain. Brings up 4th and 2. They should go for this one, Coach.
Oh yeah, I mean if you punt the ball, you're only gonna net about 20 yards max. You just might as well go for it.
So that's going to bring us to that 6-minute hydration timeout, and I think they're going to probably try to take advantage of that with 6:04, 3:02, 01. That'll stop the clock, and so they'll stop the game clock at 5:59. Ball's at the 49-yard line. It'll be 4th and 1 when we come back. Now, speaking of, be sure to join us tomorrow morning on the Louisiana All-American Sports Show right here at 96.9 FM WHYR, Baton Rouge Community Radio, also streaming at WHYR.org. We'll talk about this and other action in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area, with emphasis on other action in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area. We'll talk about Southern and LSU. We'll talk about the Saints as they got handed their first loss in a defensive slugfest last week. All that and more. We are a community radio station, so we will talk about issues that affect our community and our nation as a whole. The Louisiana All-American Sports Show every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon right here on 96.9 FM WHYR, Baton Rouge Community Radio, streaming worldwide at WHYR.org. Speaking of those Jags, I stopped watching, and I shouldn't have done that last week.
Well, I'm not going to lie. At certain points, Mr. Hadfield, I did also. However, I had family members that was in the other room tuning in and, getting their blood pressure raised, extremely elevated. And
with
they
good
pulled
cause.
it out. And, on a podcast I did last night with a friend of mine, basically we talked about bad wins and good losses.
Mm-hmm.
That overtime win against Prairie View for Southern, that fits into the bad win category for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was not impressed by Southern.
I mean, look, they to their credit, oh boy, that just went disastrously wrong. They had 4th and 1, and I think they lost.
Probably about 6 yards.
Golly, they're almost back to the original line of scrimmage. I think they lost 8 or 9 yards in that play, Coach. Oof, ugly. But yeah, it was a bad win. But look, I'm going to try to look at the positives. I'm going to try to go glass half full. It was a conference game, so that's important. Like you said, they had to get that first conference win. Mm-hmm. They were in a it looked like it was over. When they were down in the middle of the fourth quarter. Help me remember, Coach. Did Prairie View have a 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter at some point?
No, actually,
or was it one touch?
It was an 8-point lead.
8 point. Okay, that's what it was. It was 8 points.
Well, prior to that, it was a one-possession game, and then they kicked the field goal. They made it 8.
That's what it was. That's when I stopped.
Their offense was anemic most of the game. They went out of field, they scored a touchdown, and they got the 2-point conversion. To me, it seemed that if Prairie View was going to go down and they were going to score, they shot themselves in the foot. They couldn't convert at the end of regulation, and they ended up going into overtime.
That's what it was.
Southern scored from the first play from scrimmage, and they ended up going into overtime.
So, look, they had a position where they were in a situation as Brennan Gibson goes right through the B gap. Oh, he's gone. Pecan, a 42-yard touchdown gallop, and I believe that is the 4th touchdown tonight for Brennan Gibson. It is now 42-0 in favor of the Port Allen Pelicans. I don't even see the fireworks and the lights coming off anymore. They're just, they got tired of celebrating. Oh, there they go. Speak of the devil, there it goes. So, I'll give Southern was in a position where it looked a little. It was starting to look hopeless. Like when they were, that's what it was.
It definitely looked bleak, without question.
Hey, did he miss that? They got it. It's good. 43-0. But it looked. I remember I was playing Uno. Believe it or not, I was playing Uno with my daughters.
Actually, I was playing. See, the clock is once you get to the 42-point mark, it just keeps running, and it's
running.
Yeah, it's constantly running now, so yeah.
So, Coach, I wasn't sure if that was unique to the second half, but no, it is tick, 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 ticking. I was actually playing Uno with my wife and my 8-year-old daughters, and I was watching the game on my phone. No, I take it back. I had it streaming on the TV, and when they got that field goal, I just remember thinking that nothing is going to go right tonight. They had not been able to move. They've not been able to move effectively. I remember saying for this game to mean anything, they're going to have to score a touchdown, and that's not going to happen. Even if they do that, they got to get the 2-point conversion and click. And then about an hour later, I got a text that they won in overtime. I said, well, how about that? That's what I get for being a doubting Thomas. But it was.
I mean, you weren't the only person. I mean, I know a lot of members of Jaguar Nation that were in my comment section for my YouTube channel, Coach 67 Sports TV. And basically, a couple of them said they basically turned the game off at a certain point in the third quarter.
So here we go. And I'm starting to see, did they take, no, that's still Bodan. Never mind. I thought they had taken Bodan out of the game for a second. So clock is running, 3:39 and counting. There's a line drive kick scooped up at the 23-yard line. That's the same runner for Mentorship who's made anything happen tonight. That's actually an 19-yard return. Not a bad return for Christian McManus, and the Sharks will start off with decent field position with 3:20 and running on the clock.
Yeah, just keep the clock running, tick, like you say.
Stop by number 10, Jonathan.
In the words of Chris Brown, tick, 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 tick.
So they're going to move forward at the 40, so it's an 18-yard return for McManus, and that is where the Sharks will take over 1st and 10. In a way, Coach, their challenge to get that round number off the board has gotten a lot more challenging because they're, except for timeouts,
Well,
the clock doesn't
I'm
stop.
going to be honest with you. You're not worried about getting a round number off the board. You're just worried about not getting anyone hurt and just getting out of here because if you're not 42-0,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do from a coaching standpoint to fix the issues that you have. I mean, it's a
Sure,
huge,
sure
huge
you
gap
can.
in talent.
You reach in your pocket, get that flask, get that Coca-Cola, make sure nobody sees you.
Yeah.
Solve your problem right there. No, it's rough. So the quarterback's going to take off and run. And actually a heady play there, literally and figuratively. He almost landed on his head, but he gets the 5 yards. And so Marcellus will move it up they're only going to give him 4. So it'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, I think in the second half, the Pelicans could just clear the bench. And like you always say, turn out the lights, the party is definitely over in the first half.
So, oh boy. So the party's going to kind of get started at halftime for this home crowd as they do have their homecoming festivities. I see the balloons, the cheerleaders on the sideline with the pom-poms. The homecoming court's going to come out. Every time I go to one of these games, I do get a little touch of nostalgia and remember what it was like back in the day being young like this and being at homecoming, the school spirit and all that, and the homecoming dance. That was always a lot of fun. Pistol formation, high snap from Marcellus. He literally puts the ball on the ground, and Port Allen pounces on it right away. Number 51 for Port Allen, big Kevin West is going to pick it up, and Port Allen will take over with 1:28 to go in the half.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely bad. This is very bad for the Sharks. But the one good thing about it is, by the time, in fact, that's probably going to be it. They probably don't get to run the play.
Yeah, I think they got to probably run 1 depending on when they start the play clock, and probably up the gut.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, no, the clock doesn't stop running for the change of possession, so they might not get a whole lot off.
Probably.
In fact, if you're the Pelicans, you might not even try to score because you don't want to look unsportsmanlike at this point.
So let's see. Of course, you just hand Brennan Gibson the ball through the A gap. He's liable to score.
Score a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
So ball is right at the 33-yard line. Let's see what they have drawn up. 44, 43, tick, 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 tick. So under 40 seconds. So they really only have to run one play in this half. Bodan called the signals. Twins left, twins right. Twins left, one receiver to the right. Play action. They're going to throw into the pass. And it's caught, complete, and it's to number 7, Cedric Collins. That should be the end of the half. It's a first down for the Pelicans. They are leading 43-0, and these halftime festivities will get started any moment now for this Port Allen community. So, Coach, I think what we've seen at in this half is a tale of two very different teams in the same district. On one hand, you see a Port Allen team that clearly has talented athletes, but has lacked. Oh, they stopped the clock. Somebody call a timeout? There were 2 seconds left in the half.
Yeah,
injured player.
Injured player.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So somebody is down.
On the play, face mask against the Pales.
Another penalty.
Wow.
Oh no, that has to be on mentorship. Because I
Yeah.
see
It has to be against mentorship because the Pelicans are on offense and it's a face mask penalty. Yeah.
Now it's going to move the ball to the 10-yard line, and and you see the homecoming court kind of lining up, getting ready. Looks like the timeout. Looks like they're gonna blow the whistle. If they're gonna start the clock, I see the referee signal start the clock, but I don't see the clock running, unless it's just signaling the play clock, and they didn't want to. And I'm wondering what the communication is. I see one of the Port Allen assistants motioning to the clock. They must have called timeout, Coach.
Yeah, I think they called timeout.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to score again to end the first half. I mean, who knows?
Try a situation play or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've seen two different teams in the same district, but with very different focuses and very different stories.
They're definitely on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, you have this Port Allen team that you can just visibly see they have gifted athletes on this team, but the discipline has just been absolutely lacking. We've seen this 2 weeks in a row now with penalty after penalty after penalty. You'd think when you're playing an, air quotes, inferior opponent that the team that would be racking up the tab would be the other team, and that's not the case because you don't have – so Port Allen did call timeout. They're going to put 15 seconds on the clock. So, you would think you don't have to – like, you don't – when I say you don't have to commit penalties, there's nothing forcing you to commit penalties. You know what I'm saying? So, that is Port Allen does call timeout. They have 2 remaining, as it looks like they might be, like I said, trying to, run their situational offense. Really, they're going to, unless they're going to use their other timeouts, they're going to have to get it, whatever they're going to get, they need to get it here on first down. Ball's right at the 10-yard line, so it will be first and goal as the teams come back to the huddle. And on the other hand we'll wait till halftime before I kind of give that summary as the Sharks are coming back to the line. And here we go, first down and goal, 43-0. Port Allen on top of Mentorship. So Port Allen lining up. They have one receiver to the wide side of the field. He's jumping up and down. They better get set. You better get set. Don't get another penalty and blow an opportunity. As Jalen Duhon is
motion at the same time.
That's
what it was. They were on the wrong side in terms of formation.
There we go.
He was waving because it was supposed to be trips to the left.
And there was a free blitzer, fires in and out of the breadbasket of number 12 for Mentorship. And that's James Sanders. And once again, a lot of real estate in front of him had he caught that. That will be the end of the first half as the clock finally does tick down. And there's 1 second on the clock, and I think Port Allen called another timeout.
Yeah, they called another timeout.
And so we're seeing what the signal is. They had to have called timeout. So I'm going to work under the assumption that the Pelicans called timeout. That is their second timeout. They have 1 remaining. They're going to reset the clock back to 5 seconds. And so this is probably going to be the final play of the first half.
Yeah, it seems as if the Pelicans are trying to score to end the first half, even though they're up 43-0. I think they're trying to burn their last 2 timeouts to actually get another score.
And even one of the mentorship. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Coach. I apologize. Go ahead.
Oh no, you fine. All I was saying is they called a couple timeouts, so it seems as if the Pelicans are trying to score to end.
Pitch. Gibson shakes a tackle. He's got 1 shot. And there's number 6 again for the Mentorship Academy Sharks. So I will give a number McManus, Christian McManus. He's been one of the best athletes of the night. He has not quit when he's had every reason to quit as he wrapped up Brennan Gibson. So that is finally, mercifully for the Sharks, the end of the first half as the homecoming festivities are going to get underway. And for our mission control, our new mission control, Chris Gage out there on Main Street, we'll turn it over to you in a moment. I'll go ahead and do the wrap-up, Coach. Yeah, go for it. So, you got it. So we have what we had here, folks, was the tale of 2 different teams. We had one team, a Port Allen Pelicans team, that has got gifted athletes that is trying to compete up in that District 6 3A. Now, what you have when you have the likes of U-High, the U-High Cubs in there in your district, Port Allen certainly has a ceiling. They're probably not going to win district honors. Parkview Baptist is kind of starting to look like the old Parkview Baptist again. That's going to be tough. Madison Prep's kind of having an off year, but that's kind of your wall there. And I think Port Allen's trying to break through that wall. And they have the athletes and the coaching staff to do it. But you cannot break through that wall when you are committing I've lost count again. They had 23 penalties in the first half last week. It would not surprise me if they had 23 penalties in the first half this week. It was a recurring theme. Meanwhile, we have the Mentorship Academy Sharks, who are in District 6 3A. They've been in this district for quite some time, and they really do kind of have one of those disadvantages of they have a lot of students in attendance at a pretty good charter program. And that's going to drive your population up and put you in a 3A district. But the problem is, it's not a school that really, it's not, by its design, it inherently does not really draw athletes from the population the way that other schools do. And so they find themselves in an unenviable position of playing in 3A. This is their 6th year now in District 6 3A competition. And really, unless they're playing the collegiate Dolphins or the Glen Oaks Panthers, not much of a chance of a district win. Those are their only 2 chances for a district win that they're going to get. But that is, nonetheless, I did see a lot of fight. There were certain players that, despite the score, they didn't stop. And I admire that. in athletes. So that's the end of the first half. We'll kick it on over to Main Street to Mr. Gage. You have, excuse me, sorry about that. You have 18 minutes. There'll be 18 minutes of the halftime with the festivities, and then there'll be a 3-minute warm-up period. So check back in about 20 minutes. The second half should be starting, and let's serenade with the bump music of my man Joker P as we get ready to go to halftime. Turning it back over to Main Street.
Mic check, mic check.
Good evening and welcome to the halftime presentation of the 2024 Fort Allen High School Homecoming Tour. It is my honor and privilege to recognize these amazing young women and their accomplishments as they represent their respective grades. First, we have Ms. Tatiana Belton. Tatiana Belton is a sophomore at Fort Allen High. She is the daughter of Mr. Cornelius Belton and Ms. Tamika Henderson.
ladies and gentlemen, let's give one more round of applause for our homecoming court.
Seconds. Absolutely clear. It is not steaming humid like it always is. Just a little over 70 degrees, not a chance of rain. And if you are a member of this Port Allen community, it is an absolutely perfect night for you have the homecoming court and all the kids coming out. I always kind of reminds me of back in my day. And of course, your home football team is winning as they are blowing out their district rivals, the Helix Mentorship Academy Sharks, 43-0. When the second half starts, it might be the fastest half of football that we've had, that we'll have all year on the WHYR and Louisiana All-American Sports Friday Night Football game of the week. We expect it to be a running clock from the opening kickoff. Coach, it's been interesting, but the one thing, we were talking about it up here with some of the staff, PA announcers, some of the other folks, this team, with its athleticism and its ambition and its talent and its community behind it, those penalties are like an albatross around the neck.
Yeah, I mean, from a coaching perspective, I get highly irritated when it's a team we have a lot of penalties, a lot of errors. It's not. It shows a lack of discipline at times. You have to do a better job, not losing your cool, so on and so forth. And when you are a team, like you tell us, at this point, the second half, you really can't look at the Sharks, the opposition for the night. You have to look down the line to teams like University Lab, like Madison Prep. You can do that tonight and get away with it. However, you can't do that down the line and be successful.
I still see Hunter Bodan in full uniform, still has his girdle on, still has his helmet on, shoulder pads. Doesn't look like he's coming out, at least not for the opening possession. The second half, it does not look like he's coming out. But you mentioned the Port Allen Pelicans, and let's take a look at what this team has coming down the line, because you raised an interesting point. They're in a very competitive district that can often send, that potentially really could send multiple teams to the Superdome. So next week they have the Glen Oaks Panthers. That Glen Oaks is not like the Glen Oaks that I knew when I was growing up or when I was in college. That should be a win. That should be a win. The thing is, when you play like this, when you play sloppy like this, you give a team like Glen Oaks hope against the Port Allen team they should have no hope against.
Penalties, turnovers, those things haunt you as a team, and they have to clean that up in the second half.
Absolutely. They will host Parkview Baptist. We actually brought the Parkview Baptist game last year out there. Parkview Baptist outran them last year. I think they're a little more athletic this year, but they will have, they might compete against Parkview Baptist, but not doing that. Really the discipline will be the difference in whether that game is competitive.
And truthfully speaking, from a coaching standpoint, just think about it. Last week, they had 23 penalties in the first half. Not all of those penalties weren't their penalties. Some of those penalties were for Lamont.
Right.
But nevertheless, 23 penalties in a half, that's a ridiculous amount of penalties. That's something the coaching staff doesn't. Like I said, tougher opposition coming down the line. You want to prepare for those types of things.
Exactly. After Parkview, we'll have Madison Prep, who while they're in more of a down year, they're not in that down of a year. Again, they'll have to play better than this to compete with them. St. Michael, they'll have no chance like that. Collegiate, they can do that. They can do this against Collegiate. And they have U-High at the end of the year, and they cannot do that against U-High. Meanwhile, the kickoff, there goes Gibson again. He's fielded at the 30, 35, 40. He's at midfield. He's at the 45. Goodbye, see you. He's at the 30. He's at the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Brennan Gibson on the opening kick of the second half. It is the Brennan Gibson show, Coach.
I don't know why would you kick the beat?
I kick it onside.
Come on, man. You have to, from a coaching standpoint, you have to use some football IQ. This player has been destroying all night.
I kick it out of bounds. Let him take it at the 40, Oh, man.
At that point, you might just be delaying the inevitable. But either way, I'd rather you score the second or third place in scrimmage as opposed to scoring on the opening kickoff to start the second half. That should be the last action he sees tonight.
We've been thinking that for a while. I'll tell you, I'm like you. You want to preserve your better players for other parts of the year. Snap placement, kick by Bodan. Did he get it? It is good. So look, he is 6 for 6 on extra points. So there's that. But I like to, obviously common sense, not common sense, but you like to think you rest the players when you're up. You're at the half century mark. But I'll tell you, for a game like this that's one-sided, it is fun to watch this kid run.
Yeah, without question. I remember about 7 years ago, I was dating a young lady that was an athletic trainer for, for a school closer to where I was working at the time, but they were playing against a local team. And they had this star player, and they were up like 42 to 13 or something ridiculous. And I was texting her during the game, like, why is he still in the game? Because if he gets hurt, their team is done for the season.
That's it.
However, he was trying to break, at the time, he was trying to break a state record. And I'm like, man, forget the record. You want to preserve him. And, of course, that particular team I'm talking about, they ended up making it to the state championship that year. But they ended up losing the state championship game to Zachary that year.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, but, I mean, he was a phenomenal player.
What school?
This was time that I was Booker Williams.
Oh, boy, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, why is he still in the game? Like, Thibodeau High has no chance of coming back. But at the time, Booker Williams was trying to get a state record. And I'm like, man, forget the record.
Yeah.
You're not worried about the record. You're worried about your season. And, of course, I think he did get the record from what I'm understanding. But either way, he ended up literally carrying him on his back all the way to the state championship game. And they ended up losing to Zachary that year in the state game.
Those are some Titans, too. Those are Titans. So do we have there was a whistle on the kickoff, and Port Allen will have to kick it off again. The thing is, I don't see there. So the kickoff was from the 40. Didn't see a penalty flag. Was it premature? Oh, it looks like the penalty was waived off, and so the Pelicans will kick off again, as we are down to 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
We don't even need a hydration break. Let's just keep the clock rolling.
Absolutely. It's getting cool anyway. So 50-0 the score. The Pelicans have made the half-century mark. If you're logged in at LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com, you are not seeing a misprint on your screen. Port Allen is up 50-0. That might be the ugliest kick I've seen Bodank make since we've been watching the last couple of weeks. At field for 31, the big punter and probably fullback number 4, Frank Pullins, returns it, and it seems at the 31. They're going to spot him at the 40. Is it the 45 or the 46? It's either going to be a 14 or a 15-yard return, depending on the spot, and that's where the Sharks will take over 1st and 10.
If you're the Pelicans coaching staff, you would tell them, hey, no penalties. Let's get out of here, and let's move on to next week.
Right, yeah, exactly. And you were talking about looking down the road next week to perhaps more manageable games as we look at the Mentorship Academy Sharks and what they have to contend with. Again, they have a win on the year already, so they're already light years ahead of where they were last year, and there are a couple of manageable games on the schedule as we look ahead to what they have. So tonight they're going to get the loss. They're going to fall to 1-3, but they will have the Collegiate Dolphins next week. And Collegiate that is a team that actually I expect Mentorship to beat. There's a draw play, running back gets dropped in the backfield. Looks like he loses about 7 or 8 yards on the play, depending on the spot. But
yeah, if you're the Sharks right now, you're just looking for any positive momentum.
Yeah, you are absolutely positively looking forward to Collegiate. I don't believe Collegiate has won a game on the field other than by, I take it back, they had that one win last year. It was against Mentorship. otherwise this Collegiate had not had a win other than by forfeit in its brief history, and it is one of the newer schools. I think they're only in their 3rd or 4th year of existence, but yeah, they had a lot of L's, and frankly, it was actually a cause for celebration when they scored. I say all that to say, though, Mentorship does have these fellas next week, and it will be an opportunity. So you do want to get out healthy. Dropping back to throw, rolling out as Marcellus, fires high. Oh, boy, it was almost in the hands of Cedric Collins. That's another starter, and I think, Coach, at this point, 50-0, you got to start rotating these other players. And I see a lot of blue jerseys, a lot of clean blue jerseys on that sideline.
And, I mean, you want to build depth. Because this, heavens forbid someone gets injured, you're going to need to have more bodies that have experience under their belt down the line. Now, I've known coaches whose coaching philosophy is, hey, we're just going to run it up until you stop us. And I think on the high school level, you want to teach these young men good sportsmanship. That's not the route I take as a coach.
Exactly. These are kids.
I mean, I think to each his own. Also, the thing you want to consider is, just say one of your star players gets hurt in this game. I mean, hey, from a coaching standpoint, you'll be kicking yourself.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. You have weeks beyond that.
Yeah, without question.
So we did have a hydration timeout with 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The score, Port Allen 50. Mentorship nothing. This is Eric Hatfield, joined by Coach Jimmy Harrison, and you're listening to the WHYR and Louisiana All-American Sports Friday Night Football Game of the Week here on 96.9 FM, WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio, streaming at LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com.
Also, Port Allen High School would like to remind you, please stay off the track.
Be sure to join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon for the Louisiana All-American Sports Show. Saturday from 10 to 12, it'll be me, Eric Hatfield, Mission Control, Lindell Mitchell, and Coach Perry Daniels joining us from the nation's capital. We'll talk about this and other high school football action in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area. We'll talk about Southern with their dramatic bad win, as Coach called it last week, and LSU, and LSU with a C- win, albeit a multi-possession win over UCLA last week. The Saints got their first loss. Defense showed me something. Offense showed that they're not ready for the big boys yet, but nonetheless, hey, you held a team that people expect to be in the Super Bowl. The 15 points, there's that positive you can take away, and they got the Atlanta.
Not only that, but one of the huge negatives is Eric McCoy got hurt. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks from what I'm understanding.
Yes.
And Pro Football Focus had him being like one of the top 5 offensive linemen in the NFL. So that's a huge loss for the Saints. And of course, going into the game, you lost Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Cesar Ruiz got hurt in the game.
He did.
And
I think Davis had an injury, but I don't think he's going to be out this week, is what I've been hearing.
Yeah, and I mean the thing about it, from a member of Who That Nation that loves the Saints. A lot of people I felt too quick and too ready to jump out the window when it came to the Saints. The Saints are a Super Bowl contender. And I'm like, hold up, pump your brakes.
Right.
We're only 2 weeks into the season, and I'm not gonna lie. The first 2 weeks, Derek Carr looked like Superman, and this past week he didn't so much.
Okay, I got to recap the crowd on what I just saw. Basically, Port Allen took all the dogs off. There was a horrible snap. They had a couple of men on the line. They did not rush the punter, Frank Pullins. They let him pick the ball up when they could have tackled him 3 times over. And he kicks the ball and it goes sideways. It was picked up by Cedric Collins at about the 11-yard line running for a touchdown. I could not make that up, Coach.
Wow.
But you're right. No, you mentioned the Eric McCoy injury. What's even worse about that is like the reason I've said this for Derek Carr's whole career. I said this when he came to the Saints. When Derek Carr is protected and has time, he can make plays. And when he was in Oakland and he had a good line, the year they made the playoffs, he was very well protected. The first 2 weeks against the Cowboys and the Panthers, that jersey was clean. And as soon as McCoy got hit, Philly started getting pressure up the middle. He had more and more trouble, and that's going to be a bit of a weight, a bit of a pull on Derek Carr in that offense by not having McCoy in that lineup, or Ruiz if he misses this week.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. You saw the first 2 weeks when they played against Carolina, even though we expected that win.
Right.
And they played against the Cowgirls. When they were able to run the ball successfully. And also, they were able to play action off of that. Like he looked like a franchise quarterback.
Right.
However, the Derek Carr we saw this past Sunday, we've seen that Derek Carr far too often throughout the duration of his NFL career, and that's why as a Saints fan, I'm cautiously optimistic about the Saints, and I think that's the thing that people really need to realize.
Yes.
Like, Derek Carr, if everything is going well, he's a good quarterback. Far too often in the sport of football, especially in the NFL, things are not always going to go the way you want them. Right. And that was the problem. He didn't have a clean pocket. He didn't have a great running game.
Took the words out of my mouth.
And he struggled.
Yep. You keep his pocket clean, he could be effective. Look, I will look at some bright sides. When it looked like they had a go-ahead touchdown late. Now, obviously, he couldn't answer when it counted, but they did get a go-ahead touchdown late under some pretty difficult circumstances. As far as trading blows, they didn't make that big turnover except for at the very, very end, the one that shut the door on them. And the defense, man, give them some credit. You held Jalen Hurts and them to 15 points. I mean, really, they had no points. The first 3 quarters, you shut Philadelphia out the first 3 quarters of the game.
But the issue really is defensively, the reason why the defense gave up so many plays in the second half was because the offense was so inept. It kind of reminded me of Southern, leaving your defense out there to suffer, and they got tired and they gave up a lot of big plays. But even defensively, and when they gave up the 60 yard, yeah, I mean, the thing about it from a defensive standpoint, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, Dennis Allen and Derek Carr are joined at the hip. Derek Carr is, in my opinion, I'm not trying to be pessimistic. He's not a franchise quarterback, and Dennis Allen is not a good coach from a clock management standpoint, a game management standpoint. In that situation, I don't understand. First of all, why don't you play zone? And if you do play, man, he's the only player on the field that can hurt you. A.J. Brown isn't there.
Right.
You know, I mean.
It was a bit of a fluke, though, how that Goddard play happened. I mean, Lattimore and another player collided with each other, and that's
but see, that's the thing about it. That's the reason why teams in the modern NFL run so many crossing routes. I mean, he didn't intend to pick, but it ended up being a pick play.
Right.
And he got wide open, but that's the point I'm trying to make. And in that situation there, he's the only person that really could hurt. He's the only person that could hurt.
He was, because you're right, because Brown was out, then you had the injury to Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and that's the two star players in terms of wide receiver standpoint. Like I was saying, offensively, he was the only player that really could hurt me.
Yep.
Why would you take him away? If anything.
Well, there's one player who was hurting him on that offense. That big number 26 was chewing. Saquon was chewing him up and spitting him out in the second half.
That's my point.
Half.
Early in the game, Saquon wasn't really getting anything.
Right.
But their defense stayed on the field so often. And I'm not going to lie, both coaches, from a game management standpoint, I wasn't moved by either coach in that game.
No. In fact, it's funny you mentioned that because, there's a pass by the Sharks, caught complete. There's that connection from Marsalis to Christopher McKinley. Again, that seems to be the only passing connection that's worked all night for them, but close to the first down marker. But yes, I was sitting next to actually a pair of Philadelphia fans. And when they marched down the field at the end of the first half, and they had 4th and 1, and instead of doing, I'm explaining to my wife. I said that Philadelphia has this play called the tush push. It's pretty much a guaranteed yard, works 95% of the time. I said, trust me, they're gonna get the first down and at least kick a field goal. I was resigned to it, and then they ran the ball to the outside, and it wrapped them up, and the Saints got it back. And this dude looked like. He had that look like I said, Sirianni has to go, doesn't he? He's like, yes, it's time for him to go. So you have a couple of fan bases with high expectations and got some real problems with the coaches.
And I mean, even with the Dennis Allen play call to go for it on 4th down. I mean, you don't have to.
I didn't like it.
Cesar Ruiz is hurt. Eric McCoy is hurt.
And points are the premium.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your offense is struggling literally the entire game. Why do you go for it in that situation? I don't understand. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Play call, even myself, like a lot of fans who watch some of my play calls, and I had a reasonable explanation for those instances I went for but there was no reasonable explanation for these outcomes.
No, and there was 4th and like 2 or 3. It wasn't even like a 4th and 1. And you kick that field goal, and then another field goal gives you the lead. Like they had plenty of time left. I could see if it was 2 minutes to go. I get that. But there was plenty of time left in the game, and the defense was holding it together. You get that, and then you don't have to score a touchdown to take the lead. I didn't get it. I do decide to say.
You didn't go for it. And you literally lose by 3 points.
Yeah.
That was a 3-point shootout. You needed to tie it in.
And think not only that, Coach, but Philadelphia only went for 2 because it would have extended their lead. Yeah. In other words, they would have still been losing. It would have been a 2-possession game if the Saints had kicked that field goal. That was Lord have mercy. So they have the Atlanta Falcons, the fail clowns coming up next week. Meanwhile, Mentorship tries to go downfield. Way too much mustard on that hot dog, incomplete. But they have the Atlanta Falcons coming up. The Falcons kind of got robbed a little bit against Kansas City. Kind of were the Falcons we expected. A team that you can't take for granted, unbeatable. Kirk Cousins, not bad. He's not Pat Mahomes. So if the Saints defense handles its business the way they've been handling it, and if they could just protect Carr most of the time, I expect them to have success against the Falcons. But at the same time, it's a division game, and you can throw the records out the window sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I really don't like those dirty birds.
Oh, no.
The Saints really need to get this win. I mean, you don't want to lose back-to-back weeks.
No,
and
not to Atlanta.
And then not only that, but the road is going to start to get tougher. So you need to pick up wins where you can.
And this division, you cannot afford to be dropping division games. In fact, the one thing you can say, I mean, you know, obviously with the Eagles, there's if they're both competing late in the season, the Eagles have the tiebreaker. But you win your division games, you're in good shape. And right now they're undefeated in division. They have another winnable game in division, and then they have the Chiefs and the Buccaneers coming up after that. So you want to win those division games. It's going to be important. They got a tough part of the schedule coming up.
Yeah, and I mean last year, those losses to conference opponents and the division rivals, essentially that
knocked them out of the playoffs.
Cost them that last playoff spot that the Bucs ended up getting. So you definitely want to win this game against the Falcons, and then you let the chips fall wherever they may against the Chiefs.
You know, you win that last year. You win that Thursday night game against the Rams. You're in the playoffs.
That was
that simple. It's that simple.
was a huge loss at that point.
Yep. It was really that simple. So this team, but I do have a different feeling. Oh, going downfield, mentorship. Oh, in and out of his hands. It would have been a 40-some-odd yard catch. It would have been the play of the night, play of the year for mentorship. A long bomb down the field for Devery Lewis, and it hit him in his palms and it bounced out. 9:54 to go in the game. Doggone it, I was so surprised they went downfield and almost got it. I lost my train of thought,
I'm not going to lie, that was a good throw.
Yeah. I like that this kid, clearly, look, we know that the Sharks have got a lot of deficiencies, but this kid can throw the football. He can throw it straight with velocity and put it on the spot. This is something to build around.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying they have some deficiencies in the statement. They have a lot of deficiencies, you know.
It's a Shark with artificial teeth.
Yeah, and part of the issues he's having in terms of being able to get the ball off. He doesn't have the offensive line to really protect him, you know.
Marcellus, high snap. And he's forced to turn around, and he had no chance. The ball's on the ground, and it's picked up by the Pelicans, and the Pelicans will take over at the mentorship 30-yard line. That's big number 32 for Port Allen. Caleb Ray, the freshman. They got freshmen in there. Caleb Ray, the freshman,
at
with
this point,
the
you
recovery.
definitely consider the bench.
So the freshman does well, does good, and his mom and dad are thrilled to that, I'm sure. They got to see their baby get in the game, make a big play, and the Pelicans will take over 1st and 10. They cannot put Boda out there again. They cannot. And I don't. Let's see if I see him.
High School's homecoming dance is tomorrow night from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
I don't believe Hunter Boda is going back in the game, and that is the right choice.
Him, neither Gibson, neither one of them see the field.
Coach, I stand corrected. I take that back. I see him with his helmet still on.
Just because he has a helmet still on, I mean, unless he's in the huddle.
Right.
And getting ready
he's going back out.
Wow, that's kind of questionable.
If I'm Coach Gibson, I noticed that Brennan Gibson's not out there. If I'm Coach Gibson, I do not have my starting quarterback out there, who's also your punter and your kicker, by the way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I see a lot, and honestly, all the other jerseys I see look like numbers I've not seen all year. So it looks like they have other players out there except the quarterback now.
Yeah, I just turn around and hand it off. Yeah, that's all you do at this point. And
Boy, number 6 for mentorship, he has not quit all night. That Christian McManus, he brought the tackle, made the tackle. He has not stopped fighting despite every reason to do so.
The crazy thing about it, they've cleared the bench.
Yep. Yes.
And guess what? The Sharks are still having trouble getting to stop defensively. And I was not over-exaggerating when I said that in terms of numbers, in terms of size, Helix kind of reminds me of some of the middle school opposition we've been facing this season. I hate to say it, the team we played against a few nights ago, I think it would be a good game between them and Helix, and that's not saying a lot, you know.
Time out on the field. We have an injured player for the mentorship Sharks. That's number 23, the shaken-up player, Daniel Jackson, and they're tending to Mr. Jackson. He's up on his. He's up on his. He's limping a little bit, but he's on his own power getting off the field. So he's okay, and they'll get back to making that clock move once the teams are back to the line of scrimmage. So we're going to take a peek and see what our prospective game is next week. Keep checking LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. We did not confirm this game till yesterday, so we'd like to kind of let you guys know a little earlier in the week who we're going to have. But hey, high school football is fluid, as is that broadcasting game. It's hard, dog. So you know, we do our best, but I'm going to take a look real quick and get our perspective, get our tentative game that we had lined up early in the season. Meanwhile, Port Allen is in shotgun, 2 running backs in the backfield. Bonan gives it off. It's running back number 11, big hole, up to inside the 15-yard line. That's a sophomore, Curtiez McLean, with a big run, about a 15-yard gain.
So that is a Pelican first down.
So, get the as we're still efforting that that line that matchup. Here we go. So next week is week. Oh, we have an interesting one. So tentatively we have Bel Air at Bruley. Meanwhile, there's a handoff. Running back is inside the 5 and in the end zone. Touchdown. That's Darius Taylor, the sophomore, number 9, and another touchdown that puts him over 60. So that will make it Port Allen 63 and Mentorship 0. That is the 9th touchdown that Port Allen has scored tonight. But yes, tentatively we have Bel Air at Bruley. That's going to be an interesting District 6-4A matchup. Bruley should be favored in that contest, as Bel Air, they kind of were having an up year last year, and then they slid on the way down. So, and of course, Bruley is a B word here. That's a bad word here at Port Allen. These two are bitter rivals. We always call it the West Baton Rouge Parish Civil War. When these two get together, we've covered a few of those. Wouldn't mind getting in the box of one of those Bruley-Port Allen matchups. But as soon as I said Bruley, the PA announcer stuck his thumbs down. That is a bad word right here. But a really fun rivalry. It is fun to watch them get together in football and in basketball. Baseball, not so much. But so Bodan, 2-point, he just took a knee. So Bodan took a knee on the 2-point conversion. And to your point, coach, just call it. We hit that 6-minute operation. So we'll have a brief stop. This is 96.9 FM. Baton Rouge Radio. Louisiana All-American Monday Night Football game. All around the world at Louisiana All-American Sports.com. Check out LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com so we can confirm that we have Bel Air right up the road here. It's Baton Rouge from 10 a.m. to 12 noon every Saturday morning from 10 to 12 for the Louisiana All-American Sports Show. It'll be me, Eric Hatfield, along with Coach Perry Daniels, joining us live from the nation's capital and Mission Control. Mitchell will be talking about this and other football action in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area, especially other action in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area this week. We'll talk about Southerners. They have a bye coming up 29 last week, LSU. They have a road game coming up before they start taking it to their schedule. The Saints, big division rivalry against the Falcons in the NFL action. Of course, we are a community radio station, so we will talk about issues that affect your community and our nation as a whole. The Louisiana All-American Sports Show every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here on 96.9 FM WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio, streaming worldwide at WHYR.org. So, Port Allen set to kick off. The clock will begin to run as soon as the kick is made. This is Eric Hatfield calling play-by-play. I'm joined by Coach Jimmy Harrison on color commentary. And don't forget, by the way, to check out Jaguar Proud, the podcast that has Coach Jimmy Harrison. You can find that on LouisianaAllAmericanSports.net, not .com where you are right now, but .net. And also Team 67 Sports TV.
No, Coach.
Doggone it.
67 Sports TV on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. On X, which is formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on any social media platform you can find.
So I'm gonna get him right. I got the podcast right. It was Jaguar Proud. I'm gonna start getting it. Coach, not Team 67, Coach 67 Sports TV on YouTube and Twitter, X, and
and other social media platforms.
And all platforms. So, yeah, on Saturday mornings, I love.
TikTok, wherever, you know.
No, I've been letting them know Saturday morning. Actually, I did get it right. I wrote it down, though, so I didn't forget. But
Yeah.
I've been letting them know. Definitely some quality commentary and some commentary you're not going to get everywhere. It's independent. It's good for you. You are a fan of swag football. You are a fan of local sports. If you want to hear independent commentary from someone like Coach Jimmy Harrison, we'll give you that straight word from Coach 67 Sports TV.
We have a lot of
That's at HW Mumford, right? That's the big thing.
Actually, Nickel State is actually closer to where I'm from than Southern University. So, you know, I want to deal with this. Talk about my state. It wasn't my choice, but you kind of have to look at my coach and get my insight. The rivalry between Nickel State and Southern University.
Coach, you were telling us that you weren't surprised by the way they stood up down there for 2.5 quarters. So, I mean, they're one of the better teams in the South.
So actually, they are. I think they're better than, definitely better than NC State. Even though NC State, they gave Alcorn State a beatdown. So that's what I'm saying. Southern the week prior to that pretty handily, but in terms of Nickel State, I think they're definitely better than Northwestern State without question. They're better than McNeese. I think they're probably better than South. I think they cream the crop in terms of the talent conference in my opinion.
Heck, there was a SWAC school that beat Northwestern. I believe that should be interference. And there goes the penalty flag, another flag on the Port Allen.
Well, you have to realize Northwestern air program is really down at this point. They're struggling, so yeah, that's not a shock, but. I was shocked the way McNeese State beat Alcorn State because in recent history, Alcorn State was the only SWAC team that was able to beat McNeese. And McNeese returned the favor Saturday, and they gave Alcorn State a pretty good whooping.
Gave them something to think about.
Yeah, without question.
Because, yeah, after that Nichols game, it's going to get into the meat of the SWAC schedule for the Southern University Jaguars. It's going to be time. And you're right. I think Coach Mickey Joseph might be that sleeping giant in the SWAC.
Well, I think the thing about him is, I don't know about him from an X and O standpoint, but from a recruit standpoint, he has a
did try to go down the field. They drew a pass to the field. They got the ball out of the yard. Look, Marcelo's going to reach the end zone. I'm not saying I'm expecting him to still move, but it's not impossible. He can reach the goal line. Let's see the right back. Goes downfield too much, Buster, on that hot dog. He went in the end zone. Receiver was open. He was in front of his defender, but way too much. I guess it's good though. The only positive sign is that he does have the strength to get it down the field.
And I think the difference
player, Coach. So for Coach Jimmy Harrison, this is Eric Hatfield. We'll turn it back over to Chris Gage, Mission Control on Main Street. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Join us next week, as I think we are probably going to have a pretty good game right up the road in West Baton Rouge Parish again between Bel Air and Greeley. Keep checking LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com to confirm. Any parting shots, Coach, before we sign off for the evening?
Again, y'all catch me on my YouTube channel, Coach 67 Sports TV, Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. Hopefully y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening. We look forward to being with y'all again next week on commentary.
All right, 7 o'clock Friday night, same place, LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com, 96.9 FM, WHYR. So, for Coach Jimmy Harrison, this is Eric Hatfield. Be safe out there. Good night.